gonna take you to that picture. It looks like someone. We would also like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we meet on today, of course, the Kulin Nation. We want our equal rights, so we can marry who we choose. We've waited long enough. It's a fight we just can't lose! Love is in the air, everywhere I look around.
Regardless of what situation we're talking about, the bodies of people who love each other are no one's business but their own, and they're certainly not the government's business. I want our next generation to have a better future, and everything everyone can do to achieve that together has to improve the quality of life, and that is what matters most of all. Equal rights, equal marriage, now!
It is still the case in Australia today, in society today, that LGBTI youth are 6 times more likely to kill ourselves than our straight counterparts. It is still the case in society today that we have laws that maintain state-sanctioned homophobia. Because the ban on equal marriage rights is not just about a lack of equality. The ban on equal marriage rights is the government putting forward their case that we are not the same, that we are not equal, and that we are not deserving of the same equal rights.
Listen carefully. If you are against gay marriage, give us a cheer. Good. Thank God. And if you're for gay marriage, make some noise. And then we have Tony Abbott opposing gay marriage because it's against his religion. Well, don't deny people the right to get married just because it's not something you believe in. At the end of the day, it has nothing to do with you. I don't think it's appropriate for a hairy old man to run all over Bondi Beach shaking his junk in a dirty old Speedo, but hey, if you don't believe in gay marriage, then don't marry a gay person. Don't suddenly think by allowing gay marriage we're going to want to start marrying you pig-headed religious nutjobs. Gay people have standards too, and I'm sorry, but you just don't meet them.
Yeah. For as long as equal marriage is neglected, for as long as equal love is invalidated, how can we as a society really hope to achieve social justice? How can we hope to instill in our young people values of true equity, of tolerance, of understanding and embracing diversity when this fundamental social institution, so central to so many lives, is seen as a privilege and not a right? The inescapable fact stands that in our modern, secular, liberal, democratic society, equal marriage is not about religion. It's not even about politics. It is, as the very nature of this rally suggests, about only one thing: love.
Now, there are some other people who are up on this stage doing some mighty fine work with us throughout this rally. We would like to introduce to you right now Corinna, who is on my right, and Amy, who was signing earlier. These are our interpreters. Would you please? In fact, we should be doing that.
Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love. Well done! Many cultures have rituals for couples to announce their unions to people who are important to them, but also to the rest of the world. And in my line of work, these rituals and the titles and legal rights that go with them, both legally and culturally, serve to legitimate and validate both these unions and the intention of the couple entering into them. It is this public validation that brings many straight couples to counselling when things get tough in relationships, and they do. Couples come for support, work to resolve and learn how to grow together. And again, this is not different for many of our queer couples that come to Drummond Street seeking support. But what they don't experience is the daily validation of their relationship or themselves as a couple, which is so important in sustaining relationships and even getting through the tough times.
I'm here today with my beautiful partner of 7 years, and recently she bought me a ring and asked me to spend the rest of my life with her. And since then we've been waiting for our government and our country to recognise our most basic of human rights, the right to equality. Because I refuse to be ashamed. When I look in the mirror, I'm proud of who I am, and when I look at my partner, I'm proud of what we built together. So if you're here because you want equality, if you're here because you refuse to be ashamed, if you're here because you're proud of who you are and who you love, then we are going to fight together. Are we going to fight? Yeah! Now, I'm actually already in a union. I'm part of the Australian union movement, and I went to work in the union movement because I know that any fight for justice and dignity and equality is won by people joining together and standing up together. And I am proud to be part of a progressive union movement that supports not only equality for working people, but my right to love whoever I want, and to marry and to start a family however I want to do that. And when I look out at the thousands of us standing here, and I know that we're supported by the thousands of members of the Australian Union Movement, I know that this is a fight that we are going to win. Are we going to win? Yeah! Are we going to win? Yeah!
So that means when Julia Gillard tells us about her justification for maintaining the Marriage Act due to her conservative upbringing, and tells us to go back and read our Bible stories, for God's sakes, excuse the pun, she's not just slapping many loved ones in the face who have a desire to get married, but it's also a slap in the face for anybody who doesn't consider themselves to be straight or fit into the so-called gender norms of society. Yes. She's saying that it's okay to discriminate. She's saying that it's okay that people feel alienated. She's saying that it's okay for people to kill themselves or want to kill themselves because of the discrimination that they face or because they feel lesser. Shame Julia Gillard. And I'd argue that Julia Gillard has blood on her hands, and it's vital that the ALP repeal the Marriage Act now. We can't sit back and rely on the politicians to change the Marriage Act sometime in the future or whenever the hell they feel like it, whenever it suits them. We need to change the Marriage Act now. Not just so people can get married, but because anything short of full marriage rights, it means that we're going to continue to be unequal in the eyes of the law, and it's going to continue to mean that people are going to want to kill themselves. And so I truly believe that if we get rid of this horrendous Marriage Act, it's going to not just change people's lives, but it's also going to save lives.
Homophobia is a social disease. Gay means happy.